different scheme or set of content was trying to deliver towards the real age of like maybe in the primary, and I have another set that is actually working for the secondary, and of course not to forget the university versions. So yeah, I will label all of them as young adult. So as part of the catch up for what I have done since last year, so we have done a 4 years consecutive of the TRIZ for Kids, Geek Kids competition program in Malaysia. Every year we are talking about 1,000 participants across the Malaysia, different states. And this year they just finished it like 8 and 9 of November. So they bring in their own problem and they solve it with an innovative way of doing the projects. The title can be like Crow No More. Is to solve the crow problem, a smart gaming chair, a smart toilet, or a moody buddy student, which is what they have their own problem and they try to solve their own problem. And that also gives us a motivation that we need to continue to do more so that they can get more out of it. And this motivates me to continue to make the problem-solving knowledge easier for the young adult, and of course to empowering them and get access towards the TRIZ knowledge and practice it. So throughout the cycle or the journey that I actually gone through, I realized that I have found one quote from George Lowenstein. It's called The Curse of Knowledge. It actually means that when we are having understanding on certain items and we automatically assume that the rest of the world also know that. Let me give you an example. When I tell you about Happy Birthday song, you have the melody play on your brain, right? But does it mean that everyone else share the same melody that you have? That's the problem. And that's the part where I realized I have to admit it's my problem. That I use the adult way of learning where it's very visual. You sit in the class, you deliver the content, 90% of it is visual, and you use your ears to hear and disregard the rest of the thing. And I found that through this Piaget theorem, that different age of the young adult actually have a different mode of operations, where it comes on the 0 to 2, where it's a sense-based kind of learning. When it goes to the 2 to 7, we are talking about they start to get about symbolic thinking. When we actually get more towards the 7 all the way to 12 or 11, we are talking about they start to develop the logical thinking part of it, and they start to know what does maybe 1 plus 1 means. Then get to the one that above 12, they only start to deliver on the abstract thinking. It's like what if, the hypothetical part of it. So we cannot use the same model to frame to deliver the same the framework of all those contents to them. So that's one of the key takeaway that I have, is trying to give specific towards that age group this content, and another age group that content. So it rolls to my next part of it. So what I was trying to do is actually just make a very little change towards most of my content to make sure that it gets to them, into their brain, as their thinking model easier. So I so-called try out a different type of thing. That for the first is a very visual change. So it's still stuck back in the very classroom moods where we are talking about the color changes, the shape changes, the size changes. Those things is the so-called low-hanging fruit. You can do it very fast. And when you actually practice it or try out to the different kids, and you will see they will have different reactions compared to this. And I will show you the bigger slide later. I was trying to show you the framework, that the 3 points that I bring in today. Then the next is the visual substitutions, where I was talking about photos, videos, which include being not just word, because generally words is not so friendly for kids, I would say. And because just now, if you hear me, I was only focusing on 2 senses, the visions and the audio. But we have 5 senses. Why not we are trying to develop some things that actually make use of their so-called their smell, their taste, and their touch. So I think I saw a very similar content from Natalia, was trying to use the touch and play part, so to in one of the ways, so-called gamify those things to make them actually have different kind of approach to acquire or get in touch with the knowledge. So yeah, so I'll bring in all this later. So on the word substitution part, I just grabbed a very simple, I don't say simple, I just say it's like physical contradictions. Like, it's just a very big word for them. Then I just tell them, these 2 things don't go along together, don't work well together. And this is the one thing that cannot go, and one is going to left direction is yellow, and another one going to green is another directions. So it makes them have colors to actually realize that there's a difference, and we correlate it with photos, and to actually show them that the contradictions of the part. And I hope with all those things that make that much easier compared to like I'm giving them all those like dilemma of contradictory, going into the same elements, as those are actually the big words that adults we all understand, but we need to do a small change for them so that they get it more easier. And I'll show you the impact or changes later. So the next is the visual substitutions, when I am very happy that when I was going through it myself, I experimented it, and I'm glad that I saw a very similar content that Ivan and Natalia and even Anton acknowledged that this was one of the way. Like, it's very simple that the kids or young adult know 1 plus 1. So in order to make them understand about this, I just formulate it as like a walking stick plus a chair that is coming up as a new innovations, because they add 2 functions together. And the next one is like they are asking me, what if I want to innovate around a keychain, and what should I do? So I didn't give them the answer, I just give them the illustrations and let them actually try to come back to me. And I received a lot of things like, hey, can we do this? Should we do this? And what if is this? And they actually come back to me with a lot of different kind of understanding and their own way. Instead of like, I give a thing to them that's like, oh, you do this and you get this. And they're just coming back to me with all the differences things. And guess what? That one little slide actually comes into a change on different things. So it's actually a real case where I was trying to give it to secondary school, and they were supposed to do sales for keychain, and they make it happen. They even make an innovation around the keychain. There is no keychain. They use the crochet, the knitting lines, and wrapping with an NFC tag. So the crochet itself is keychain. the NFC tag is the new functions that being added into the system. Then they actually make it happen to have like 4,000 plus of revenue in just 2 days. One of the way to say they make more money than me in just 2 days. Yeah, so I'm really proud of them, and I really think that if we continue to do more, we can see more this result coming, and definitely that hopes that is always the reason why I'm trying and I still keep on doing it. So with all these small little changes, I actually realized that they actually come back to me with more questions, more info. Like, can we try this? We try that. Then they improve the creativity. Then they do different thing differently. But of course, I know that I still need to improve as well, because I might not using the best word, the best terms, or the best tools to deliver this. So, but they actually have a very a very drastic improvement, which I asked the question in last year conference. We only talked about 5 to 10 minutes clear focus for kids to have with you if you are studying a class. But with all these informations, we actually able to give more, or so-called, they actually able to stay longer, and they actually even take their initiative to go back and do their homework before they coming back to me. And to my case, I don't give them homework. They just do it just because they gain the interest. And of course, like what I mentioned, I have the plan in my head that I know it is not the best, and I was constantly working with all the TRIZ experts in the room and across the world. I need to especially thank a few of my mentors, Sergey, Enghu, Dr. Yo, Miss Lakit, and of course, Natalia, Ivan, and also Anton, that give me a lot of different inputs throughout from what happened differently from last year until now. And of course, I wanted to continue to try to change and make the language calibrations to become much easier, to adapt with different range of kids, definitely. Then change on the tool strategy. What I mean was like, I don't really plan to give them a very tough model or very tough understanding. I will still try to make it much easier or deliver it in a much better way so that they can understand it differently. So it might involve different tools, like what we have heard yesterday about diaries, and there might be things that I haven't realized or I haven't really discovered, right? So, of course, other than going through all those details and knowledge, I spot on that there is a thing that I am lacking, I'm more towards lacking of, is the feedback loop. So what the feedback loop now I have is like the result coming out from the students or the young adults, or how I feel they change based on what I observe. But can we have a more systematical way to get the feedback? Can we have a more methodological way to like document down the improvement throughout they have? And not to forget the interesting questions that previously we are posting about how to measure creativity. So if we actually can have all those elements in, and I believe it will create much creative and innovative next year. So yeah, of course, all of this is to make this goal happen. The last one. So I think this page is same as last year. So I'm here because I wish to understand more from different opinions, different point of view, and different approach. And I'm definitely more than happy to have more collaboration with everyone. Tell me more, what is your visions? Tell me more how we can do pedagogy better. Yeah, I guess I will wrap up my presentation.